Hello everyone, and welcome back to Level 36 Plays Stationeers. We're back again, continuing on our atmospherics. I'm pretty sure. Truth be told, it's been a smidge bit of time since I've recorded for this, so I need to remember what I was doing. It is, as of date of recording, the day after Christmas, so happy holidays to those of you celebrate. This will probably come out, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do any more early videos while I am on break. I get a little break from what I do is my day job, so figured I'd do some stuff here. But yeah, we're back to working on atmospherics. So, I've had some thoughts and learned some things between this video, or between last video and this one. Not least of which a lot more about our gas systems, and also the fact that I'm probably never going to have this much N2O to store, and if I do, I don't want to store it in this type of tank, because it is a bear. So we're going to switch this out with pollutants, because I actually do want to store some pollutants, because it makes good, whatchamacallit, refrigerant gas. So let's go over a couple things to start. First of all, CO2, my good old friend CO2, and how I hate thee. CO2 is difficult because of its curve. So if we go into our help menu and do CO2 carbon die. Let's just look at our gases menu. I guess it's in here. Carbon dioxide. We get this chart here. So this shows the phase change chart for CO2. And we can see as pressure increases, as pressure and temperature change, we get three phases of matter. We get the solid group, the liquid phase, and the gaseous phase. Ideally, we want to, while we're storing and managing gases, manage everything in the gas phase. To do so, if we switch over to our temperature graph, as long as we keep the temperature above -12 or -10 for CO2, I guess, yeah, basically above -10 or -9 here, irregardless of what pressure we're at, it will always be a gas. If we dip below this, but we have high enough pressure, so let's say we're at like -28 and we have about 2 megapascals, so let's just go here. Having trouble dialing it, but about -30 and about 2 megapascals. We will start to transition from gas into liquid CO2. And then, if we ever get to the point where we're at -50 Celsius, we will transition directly from gaseous to solid CO2. This would be very bad. But why we're dealing with this case of having liquid CO2, especially like in my gas tank, which is in a hole somewhere. I don't remember where I put that one. Hopefully it didn't despawn / blow away. Might have. Oops. I don't think I brought that inside. Did I really let that? Oops. Yeah. It appears that I let that go away. Oh well. Unless I did drag it inside, I don't remember. But, yeah. Because we were not managing our temperature, our pressure got to the point where we were storing our gas was converting to a liquid. This can happen to all of our gases. So if we go back into our help menu and go back, we look at oxygen, you can see that oxygen is easier theoretically to deal with because its liquid transition temperature and pressure, if we can keep it above negative 118, regardless of pressure, it'll stay a gas. This is a fairly difficult temperature, at least on Mars, to reach. Anything below that, above negative 216, will be a liquid in liquid phase. And then obviously down at the below that, we get into solid phase. We do want to avoid solid phase in our pipes. Nitrogen, this should be about negative 223 to convert at 0 pascals, but as we go up the curve, if we keep it above negative 87, 88 C, regardless of pressure, it'll stay a gas. Volatiles, about the same, negative 80. Pollutants, this one's an interesting one because it has such a steep curve here where a very small change in pressure can change its condensation temperature by quite a bit. That's why I was saying it might be decent as a refrigerant gas, because as we get into doing refrigeration or heating with phase change, so phase change cooling is a thing they added with the gases liquids update, we can essentially take liquid pollutants. I gotta remember my phases here. So if we have liquid pollutant at 2.3 megapascals, it'll be at negative 60. We absorb heat from the environment, which transitions it into a gas, and then we can condense it elsewhere. So we absorb all that heat, we transition it into a gas, and expand it and absorb heat. And then we transition that gas elsewhere, and then we condense it back into a liquid, releasing that heat and transforming it back into a liquid to repeat that cycle. And because this has such a long but relatively short curve, it will work pretty well as a refrigerant on Mars. Not that we need a ton. Our little air conditioner, which theoretically is a phase change device in and of itself, does this pretty well. But so latent heat, specific heat have to do with this. But if we look at the max liquid temperature right here, 152, if we keep it above 152 Celsius, we'll never deal with it in a liquid form. Now, obviously, with pollutants, that might be a little bit more difficult, so we might have to just keep our pressure, in this case, below 6 megapascals. And that way, we'll never have to worry about transitioning into this liquid phase, unless we do want to keep its temperature pretty high. And then water also has a curve. So steam, here we can see we can transition water to a gas. Let's see. So solid ice below negative, in negative Celsius, and then we can transition between a liquid and a gas based on pressure and temperature. And then above 300 Celsius, it will always be a gas. This has a higher latent heat, but it is because of the lower pressures you have to deal with, it's a bit of a pain. Nitrous oxide has a very similar curve to pollutants, but it has a higher latent heat, so it can transfer more heat per mole of fluid/gas moved. It is also very combustible, though, and also is a bit of a pain. But essentially, all of this to say, the reason why I've been dealing with so much liquid carbon dioxide is because we have had it a very cold temperature and high pressure. So if we heat it, this will no longer happen. So, in theory, if we have, let's say, for example, a loop of 20-degree water, so if we have it at, if we have liquid water running around in a loop at 20 degrees at, like, let's say 100 kilopascals, right? Because so at high pressures, we have to keep very high temperatures to keep it in liquid phase. But if we want to keep it in the liquid phase at, you know, a reasonable temperature, let's even say like 100 degrees, we're still below our atmospheric pressure. So that's why, right, if we dial this in at about 100 kilopascals, so atmospheric pressure, right? So 79 kilopascals there. At 100 degrees Celsius, we boil water into steam. If we're at a lower pressure, though, we will boil at a lower temperature, which is why at 0, if we, so let's say 1 degree or 5 degree, if we have almost a complete vacuum, it'll still boil into steam. But yes, so we have a high latent heat here. If we have a loop of, like, let's say 20-degree water running around at, you know, decent pressure, we can use that to control, through heat exchangers, our temperatures of our gases and keep them at a normal temperature, which will prevent them from turning into liquids. Pollutant may be one, right? So if we're at 20 degrees, we will have to keep it below 3.5 kilopascals. And nitrous oxide, I think, is the only other one. If we're at 20 degrees, we'll have to keep it below 1 megapascal. So those are the only other two that we'll have to worry about specifically heating them to keep everything at a good point. So all of that to say, controlling temperature is how we will prevent liquid in our systems. We should still keep our manifold down here to control liquids and have an evaporation system. But in the meantime, we just have to probably, in the meantime, because we have no more resources, we have to get the system running, which theoretically, in its current state, it can, or it should be able to. But we need some ices, and we need to get some gas flowing so that I can use my furnace. Was there anything else I wanted to do before I... Let me look at my stuff. Oh, pressure relief and fill stations, because we can't exactly do a ton until we have those set up. So, let's see. How much more pipe do we have sitting around? 20 pipes there, 10 pipes, we can combine that. have any more kicking around on the inside. Got a few bits and bobs of atmospherics equipment. Portable gas tank. Oh. Insulated pipes. I think I have some in here too. Portable connector, whole bunch of pipes. The kits. Finally get all this stuff out of here. Oops. While we're in here, we'll top off our water. So one thing we will have to be careful about with the, if we choose to use a heat exchanger loop of like water per se, is that if it does get too cold, it will turn into a solid, which, as you can imagine, probably won't end well. I don't actually know. I've never tried it, but I can imagine our starch-based pipes or sugar-based pipes that seem to cave at the slightest introduction of liquid would not enjoy a solid sitting inside of them. So let's try and avoid that. So if we were to exceed with the amount of incoming cold liquid or cold gas, the heat capacity of whatever we're using to heat our liquid, we would turn it into a solid. And that would be pretty bad. So we may want to think about that when we choose our heating loop substance. But for now, let's decide how we want to do our pipe routing and gas fill routing and all of that, so that I can finally get some nitrogen put back into my furnace, so that we can one day make some more alloys. Let's see. We were going to, if I remember correctly, run the pipes over the ceiling. So let's just focus on nitrogen to start, because that's the one I care about. And not fall in the hole. Nitrogen is our second one, so this is our nitrogen line right here. Picking this up. Decide how tall of a building I want this to be, because I do think this is going to end up being a 2-story building. Let me just grab some walls real quick, just so I get some sense of scale. Wall. I want to put a auto change filter arm here. Yeah, we'll do a composite window right there. There. So we do want to have a pressure relief system that vents excess pressure out into atmosphere in case we ever exceed the pressure capabilities of our network. we do that, this is probably a bit of a waste of pipe. Yeah, probably. But I think it'll look cool, and that's half the reason why we do stuff, right? So that is our nitrogen line started. Off our jetpack. Let's say we're gonna have the wall over here. The door over to our furnace area. And let's grab our pipe kits. Utility gas kits. So we're gonna need oxygen, nitrogen, CO2, volatiles, and whatever we decide to do with this one. Whether we keep it N2 or if we go with gluten soda there. But we need 5 of these. I forget which one's the, like, quote-unquote right way to have these. I think it's this way? Yeah, it is. Okay. That's a bit of a pain. I don't want to go under just because I want to have the, like, arch of plumbing, but I don't know if this is truly the best way of doing this. Oh boy. I'll have to come down and over and down again because this is right in line with where my walkway to the furnace is, which isn't great. Put a little bit more flooring up too, just so I'm not falling in every 2 seconds. Same way I have everything. So if we have our tank fills over here, what would it take to run it down below? We'd have to avoid all of those. Probably wouldn't be the end of the world. Yeah, maybe instead of going over the top, we instead have our pipes run along the bottom. That way we have a nice clean upstairs, but have the fancy pipe array down underneath. That sounds probably like a maybe better idea. Now it's time to just undo all of this. Um. Oh. Hmm. Actually, that's fine. Just have to dig out a little bit more, but that is okay. So we can put some walls along that side, and then that will be where everything runs down. And that way we don't even have to worry about the water management, because that can happen up on a deck up there, and then it'll come down and up around the other side. Cool. And then we'll just have to have our pressure reliefs done on a little mast that can run out somewhere else. We can deal with that when it comes to it. Oh, you don't have battery. That's right. All right. I don't have my drill on me. So let's use a little bit more precious nitrogen. Let's see. Ooh, we are actually starting to run low on that. I actually do need to get the nitrogen system running sooner rather than later. What are you full of? I don't know. But I can find out. I did bring my tablet. That's a tracking beacon. We're gonna need this anyway. Yeah, stabilizer. There we go. And drill. Where is my drill? What are you full of? Water? I had to guess. Nitrogen. Liquid nitrogen. Hmm. Good to know. You're full of oxygen. Are you like... Yeah, you don't have a ton in here. Fuel canister. Where did I put my mining drill? It's not my backpack, and I'm just like totally blind here. I don't see it. Where did I put the mining drill? It's probably one of these. No. That's the old welder. That's a pickaxe. Oh, it is in my backpack. Jeez. I'm blind sometimes. Alright. Grab my pipe kits. Let's order another 20, because we're definitely going to need them. Currently doing the locked thing. Right. And let's order up 20 of these. Go for it. And theoretically... Nope, I don't mess with it. I'm not confident in my definitely mostly stable programming. Let's toss that down there. Got all my extra pipes from up here. Toss them down. Pop down myself. Drill. Hollow out some space here. And we'll put the I do want to put the T's right at the edge, so we'll do that with insulated pipes, but yeah. So we don't technically need to. We could keep things the way they are right now. I like the way it is right now, so a little ways so we can assemble everything. Could still do the vent stack right here and just have it vent right outside. Or we could also just do that. No, those require power. We'll have to do that somewhere else. That's fine. Okay. There. Welding torch. So. Nitrogen pipe will come down here. Is it going to bother me enough to fix it? Not. Right. Okay. Now we can run this stuff in a little bit more of a sensible manner. And this will also make it easy to access to send gases down the utility tunnel instead of having to like loop it all the way over and back down around. Cool. We're gonna actually route this. We're gonna have a set of gases coming over. If we had our fill panel right here. Right over here. Let's grab some more utility kits. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll have to run them over and up here. It's I that off the edge. Guess I need a couple more pipe utility kits. I thought I had a couple. Guess not. Yes, they're over there. No. Utility gas. I want 3 more, I think. Hopefully. Build some more of the wall while I'm at it. Might put some windows in eventually, but I figure that's a good start. Okay. That's 5 tanks, 5 portable tanks for 5 atmospheric setups. Now, actually, I'm going to want another... Let's just start with 1 of these. Nope. So I want to build a little buffer tank in to handle the pressure. Do some pipe routing. So I forgot these are over on the edge. There are feed lines are going to be down here. We're going to focus on nitrogen first, so it's going to be this one. So these are a little wider than pipes, right? So a pipe is a single wide, this is a double wide. So I don't know that we can stack these right next to each other. I guess we can try with a single. Oh, we can. Okay. We're going to have an inline tank as a bit of a buffer, and then a pressure regulator. Right. Below it. This one's going to be a little bit of a pain. We'll deal with that one when we get there. Maybe we'll move it down a couple so I can get to the interface. Then grab our pipes. This one is going to angle just like that. You're going to have to angle there, 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 there. There we go. That should be nitrogen plumbed in. Now, I do want to put some valves in place. Yeah, right. I think it should be fine. Could have some up in storage. That should prevent anything. So if we want to shut this system off completely, we can do so. I'm going to leave them for manual valves for right now, because I just like the aesthetic. And then what we will need is up here. Condensation valves. So this is what will feed our little, like, what I was talking about with that drain mast. So if we put these on each of those, we can run a liquid pipe, which will allow us to evaporate all the gas, or all of our liquefied gases, and send them back into the filtering tank, so that we don't have to worry about that happening again, and everything should be all hunky-dory. We don't have that set up yet, so that's fine. We are going to need some power as well. Let's future-proof this, but... well, let's actually come off the wall. Those are now wired in. And while we're doing this, we can just put the last one in.
Hydration
So I
critical.
remember where I was going to put it. Put it even lower. Well, it'll be there. Can't make it prettier, I'm sorry. I probably could, but I'm not going to. For now. Wow. So I'm thinking my other room is going to be a huge pressurized space, but if I actually want to pressurize the atmospherics room, with it being a two-hall room and this space below, this is going to be a big space. Oh boy. Alright. How many pipes do I have left? So the reason I did this is because obviously I'm going to need to run a pipe there, and I need to get this back going up and over because our furnace needs nitrogen, oxygen, and volatiles. I plumbed this into the volatiles one, didn't I? Well, we get to do one more. I did the wrong one. I guess it doesn't technically matter because I haven't put any gas in anything yet. But kind of would rather do this the right way. Could just swap filters around though. Need to make a better way of getting out of the basement as well. 6 more pipes. Nine more pipes. Oh, there's some utility kits. Alright. Pipe meters. Need some more pipes though. Set of 20. I did think of some improvements to my script to fix my water while we're over here. So I might implement those and push those out in an update on my workshop script. And then additionally, probably also... ooh, these are ready to harvest. Make a dedicated video to how I set that whole system up. And some improvements that could be made to it overall that we'll see if I ever get around to copying over to the survival world. Of that potato. How bad are you? Ooh. Well, let's turn you into a baked potato. And plant the rest of you. Oh, well. It already went in the bowl. It's getting baked now. Alright, we've extended their life to 3 hours. Need a refrigerator. Said I was going to make one of those last time too, I think. Soon you won't be the only pressurized room. Well, probably still will be. This will be a little annoying until I build an actual proper base airlock and pressurize all of these rooms, but it's fine. We'll get there eventually. What was I doing? That's right. Plumbing and nitrogen. So I forgot to do that properly. Instead, I did volatiles. So part of the reason that I'm not super worried about these being insulated pipes is because I'm planning on keeping my base in general around 20 degrees. And if I'm shooting for like a 20 degree constant across each of these pipes, the interior shouldn't matter a ton. Hopefully, I may come to regret that, but that's what learning is for. Just use it up. Watching me be 1 pipe short now. So the reason I have the pressure regulators here is because... Oh, that's right. I want to use pipe kits for that. I want to make sure I'm charging my tanks to the set pressure that I want. And I can do that with pressure regulators. So by setting a pressure regulator to say, like, I want my nitrogen backpack tank to be, let's say, 4 megapascals or something silly like that, I can, obviously that's a little low, but I can set that, and then that tank will always get recharged to that amount, regardless of whether we have a lower pressure in the feed line or a higher pressure in the feed line. We don't have to worry about it. Put some pipe meters in, just for some nice visuals. on the down pipes. And then carry this one, the rest of it back over. Oops. Yeah. Now the nitrogen is plumbed in. We need to plumb it over to our furnace build, though. Can we build like one below the surface? No, so I'll have to rip out all the floors. That's okay. We'll toss those down in the pit. What's wrong with those? Oops. That also didn't work. Get down there. Unbox that. Deconstruct it. Deconstruct that. Toss you down there. We'll reassemble that down there, but that's where most of our plumbing is going to go. And then... how do we want to route? In theory, this is a closed system. It should never need additional gas plumbed into it. This one here is the one that needs a gas line added to it. And these two also need gas lines. Also probably need some valves. I like to just run it across right there. That's the most direct path. I already came up this way. Much do I commit to an already made bad decision? I guess we could finish off our small tank filling stations while we think about that. We're just going to need a bunch more pipes. In the pit you go. And we have to think about how we want to deal with filling up our portables. I have a thought that I'd really like to do that's a real big pain in the neck. And I have the easy way where we make another array of portable filling stations. What I'd like to do is have one portable filling station, like over here, where I can hook up any portables tank and fill it with any of the gases. To do that, though, I need a system where I can pump the gas in, seal it, bottle it, or more aptly, I guess, remove the portable container, which this doesn't have a data port, does it? No. Remove the portables container, vacuum out the line, and then send in the next gas. I don't know if that's worth the amount of effort it will probably require. Oh, the things to decide. But real quick, we don't have to decide, is to finish off this. So let's just order some new pipes, because we are out once again. Let's grab 40 this time. Down there. Being made as we speak. Probably smell some more copper. Just a couple more. Once we probably won't get all the pipes run, but I'll, between episodes, run the remainder of the pipes across and down. That's kind of boring, but essentially we'll get our fill stations all set up. And so now they're technically set up. So wish I had the ability, like, there is this F2 checklist, right? Like, oh, you can do this stuff and all this. I wish that there was a way of making my own checklist. Might have to look into a way to do that in the future, or write my own script to do it. That'd be kind of neat. But for now, the atmospheric system, we have our filters set up. We have our mass gas storage set up. We may add one more, actually. It will ruin the aesthetic, I know, but there's one more gas we need to store. Maybe we'll run another one, like, underneath, so it's just hidden and we don't have to think about it. Mass storage for gases, though, is mostly complete, or is complete. Filters are complete. We need to, or I'll finish off the piping in our small tank storage, our small tank fill stations over here. So that will get completed between episodes, but that hopefully works. Actually, we haven't tested any of this yet. We need to run pipes over to our furnace setup so that we can make our fuel mix, pressurize with our coolant gas, which is nitrogen, do all of that stuff, manage our liquids. So my plan in general is to evaporate any of our gas-based liquids into gases again and send them back through, probably with like a pretty slow little like valve to let only a little bit of gas through at a time, just so we don't create a loop of sending through tons of cold gas, evaporating it, sending through tons of cold gas, so on and so forth. Our gas heating system, so that we can keep all of our gases at a stable temperature. Water. We still do not have a way of making more water than the water that we have in those two tanks right there. So there's still a lot to do with atmospherics. And then an auto-change filter system. That's what kind of started the whole furnace crisis, as I was trying to make some wasp alloy so that I could make a Larry filter changing arm. Enclose it, pressurize it, all that's later on. But the core functionality is, well, and a gas pressure relief valve. So if we overpressurize our gas, a way of venting that pressure out to the wonderful great Martian atmosphere. Maybe we'll just come up to our little, like, exhaust stack.
Waste
Little
tank caution.
line that goes over there. And a gaseous input system. I might put it somewhere over here where I can put my waste tank and have it vacuum out and filter any non-waste gases, take our furnace exhaust and maybe plumb that in so we can filter out whatever's left over in that, because we are dumping out some good gas mix every time we purge our furnace. When we smelt ices, there's also gas that comes off of those, so maybe we'll enclose our furnace and eventually build the other 3 or other 2 that I was planning on when I built this system, so that we can smelt our ores a little bit faster. Plenty to do around the base, but for now we have survived 110 days without dying and built our small tank fill stations. I'm level 36. I hope you've enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you next time. If you have enjoyed, please be sure to drop a like and a subscribe. Leave me a comment if I've done something horrendously wrong that you've just noticed now. Thank you again for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day.